Witness one of the biggest mega projects, which is the immense cube in this video. That could be the world's largest building. But that's not all. We also cover other major projects such as the Octagon, Dubai Circle, and Mukab in Saudi Arabia. Subscribe to Luxurious Prestigious for more amazing skyscraper and mega project content. After the line and the Octagon came the Dubai Circle, which is now a mighty cube. Saudi Arabia unveiled the Mukab earlier this month as its newest undertaking. It's a cube so large that 20 Empire State buildings can fit inside of it. The Kingdom of Saudi Arabia hailed it as a portal to another universe, with a holographic dome that sweeps guests away to other planets and fantastical realms. Will the Mukab actually be completed? Or is this merely an aggressive marketing ploy? And if so, when would it start to accept travelers? We'll examine what we've learned so far in this video. The Middle East's wealthiest nation, Saudi Arabia, is well known for its boundless oil reserves. But Saudi Arabia wants to rely less on this oil specifically. To gradually transition their economy away from oil and toward tourism, they have begun announcing and constructing gigantic mega projects under the slogan Vision 2030. The biggest of these initiatives is NEOM, a $1 trillion mega project that comprises the 170-kilometer-long line city, the Octagon floating port city, and Sharjah, a sizable ski resort in the Arabian desert. The CEO of NEOM declared in January that 20% of the city's infrastructure had already been built. An updated video that began with the words NEOM is real displayed views from large building sites, including the Line, the Octagon, and Sharjah. Saudi Arabia also collaborates with a number of significant businesses. NEOM's citywide AI technology will be set up with assistance from companies like Oracle and NVIDIA. As if the unveiling of NEOM with the Line, Octagon, and Sharjah were insufficient, there is now another brand new mega project that has just been announced, the new Murabba. Under Saudi Arabia's Vision 2030, this cube is the most recent addition. The country doesn't want to overlook the other major cities in the nation because NEOM has received so much attention lately. The Saudi Arabian capital of Riyadh will therefore host the construction of new Murabba. Already expanding quickly, Riyadh is a metropolis. It was a small village with less than 500,000 people 50 years ago. Today, it is the third largest city in the Middle East with more than 7 million people. The new Murabba project will create the largest contemporary downtown in the world, according to Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman. The development of Riyadh is anticipated to reach new heights thanks to this new district. More than 80 entertainment venues will be installed there. Several walking paths, a sizable museum, and a wide Mukab at the center of it all. Because Mukab is Arabic for cube, the structure will truly be a giant cube. After the Line and the Octagon, building basic geometric shapes at absurd scales appears to be a recurring motif for Saudi Arabia's mega projects. The Mukab has been referred to as Riyadh's new face. The Nazi architecture, a historic design employed by Saudi Arabians for hundreds of years, serve as the inspiration for the cube's facade. The stunning surface will be illuminated by the sun and command the Riyadh skyline. This cube will be impressive in size. It will be considered a super tall skyscraper, different from other skyscrapers, and would entirely dominate the skyline since it is 400 meters tall. It would be the fourth tallest structure in Dubai if it were built there. 20 Empire State skyscrapers could fit within the Mukab. To put that into perspective, it would dwarf the cube-shaped structures that are already present in other parts of the world. Germany's remarkable office building, the Berlin Cube, is one example. 1,000 of them could fit inside the Mukab. Yet, despite having striking mirror sides, it is just 40 meters tall. This cube may likely surpass the current record holder, the Boeing Everett plant in Washington, in terms of sheer volume, and grow to be the biggest building on the planet. In fact, it would be so huge that the cube could accommodate the Boeing factory nearly 5 times over. What though will be done with all this room? It's supposed to be an entirely new universe when you go inside the Mukab cube. Above its guests, a massive dome that showcases several virtual realities will soar. Visitors to the Mukab are meant to feel as though they're in another universe, thanks to these holographic projections. You might be at the ocean's bottom one moment, and on Mars' surface the next. Or you might be in a fantastical world full of enchantment. It is designed to be an immersive experience, unlike anything you have ever had. The dome's core will have a spiral tower that rises from the floor to the top and resembles an ant hill or packets of fungus. For travelers from all around the world, this tower is intended to be a top attraction. Restaurants, lodging options, viewing decks, as well as movie theaters will all be present. The huge cube will then surround the tower and the dome. In tower-like configurations, facilities will also be crammed into the 4 corners of the cube. The top will also be activated, housing lakes, lawns, and trees. The question of whether or not it makes sense to create a lake there is another. The Mukab is fashioned like a cube. But why? The cube-shaped design of the Mukab, in their opinion, is the most effective shape for accommodating all the cutting-edge technologies that will support the experience as a whole. Although they haven't decided exactly how they want to present the virtual worlds, in the gap between the bell-jar dome and the outside cube, electronics will have to be concealed. The gardens on top of the cube will require a strong array of joists and beams to support them, in addition to the dome and shell. Also, the cube's corner towers, which resemble skyscrapers, will provide stability. It is debatable if that would be sufficient to support the largest roof in the world, and the garden on top. The Mukab is also intended to become more recognizable, thanks to its cube-shaped appearance. The Mukab would provide Riyadh with a distinctive landmark that would make the city stand out among other major cities in the world. It's comparable to the Statue of Liberty in New York or the Eiffel Tower in Paris. Every time someone sees a picture of the cube, Riyadh will come to mind. Yet, there has been some criticism of the shape. Some claim that it resembles the Kaaba in Mecca, another Saudi Arabian city. A Muslim must face the Kaaba when praying wherever in the world because it is the religion's holiest place. Others, however, have pointed out that the similarities are important, and the Earth is not only home to the Kaaba cube. Why should the Mukab be any different from the Berlin cube, which was constructed in Germany and wasn't compared to the Kaaba? Some people also noted that the Saudi royal family is Muslim. Thus, it stands to reason that they wouldn't purposefully construct a structure in the shape of the Kaaba, making the similarity more likely to be coincidental. Overall, the Mukab project announcement has been well received with eagerness and wonder. But everyone is curious as to whether or not the Mukab will actually be constructed. Although no work has been done, it is anticipated that it will start soon. The project, along with the other Vision 2030 initiatives like the Line, Oxygen, and Chahina, will be made public in 2030, according to Saudi Arabia's pledge. This project will likely be easier to complete than the Line. The largest megaproject ever constructed would still essentially be that, though. Its outcome is difficult to anticipate because of this. So let's divide it down into 3 alternative outcomes. The first, which Saudi Arabia would probably appreciate the most, is that the cube's construction will get underway soon and will be finished by 2030, as they have promised. To become one of the most visited cities on Earth, Riyadh will get a new icon and gradually draw people from all over the world. This leads us to the second outcome. Financial experts are already doubtful about the project's viability. If everything sounds too good to be true, it's because there are quite a few obstacles to overcome. They can't. Watch to see where Saudi Arabia will get the funding for another massive project. The economics of all of this is not completely secure, according to Dr. Andreas Cree, King's College London's Middle Eastern Studies Department. A few days after the Mukab statement, CNN questioned the Public Investment Fund on how they planned to finance the project. The PIF retorted that although financial information was still being withheld, it would surely be made public. Foreign investment will be crucial in many ways. In order to fund initiatives like the Mukab, Saudi Arabia is seeking to bring in more than $100 billion annually by 2030. They're still far from that amount. But if enough hype can be created, the foreign investment might start to increase quickly. Yet, there is no assurance that will occur though. Amnesty International has accused Vision 2030 of violating human rights, which has damaged the project's reputation and would deter foreign investment. Yet, there is a much more challenging obstacle to surmount, even if Saudi Arabia is successful in raising the funds. What about technologically? Is this mega project even feasible? The Mukab's announcement does not mention any existing holograms. Certain innovative holograms the size of Mukab's dome are still like science fiction, despite recent significant breakthroughs made by businesses like Lightfield Lab. With huge LED screens, a comparable effect could likely be produced. That is what is taking place at the MSG Sphere. It is now being constructed in Las Vegas and is scheduled to debut this year. A wraparound screen will cover the inside wall of this alluring entertainment space, which will be formed like a massive sphere. It will be the largest screen in the world, measuring 15,000 square meters, or approximately 3 football fields. It is intended to take sphere audiences into immersive environments, much like the Mukab in Saudi Arabia. But there is a significant difference. The Mukab screen would need to be at least 20 times larger than the one in the MSG Sphere. And it is undetermined whether a screen that size could actually be constructed. The innermost lake that is located on the cube's roof should also not be overlooked. Millions of liters of water would considerably increase the structure stress. Thus, the cube would need to be made very solidly and entirely waterproof. It would be disastrous for the pricey technology right below if the lake were to spill. In other words, the cube is already up against some formidable obstacles. There's a danger it won't get finished if there isn't funding for it or the necessary technology. A third possibility, though, is that the cube might one day be constructed, even if in a scaled-down, less ambitious form. Size could be decreased from 400 meters to 200 meters or less. It would still be the world's tallest cube-shaped structure, even at 100 meters, making it a striking sight to behold. Even if it would be inferior to the present designs, it would nonetheless be an improvement. It's impossible to predict what will occur next. But one thing is sure, the next couple of years are going to be very interesting. The Mukab, the line, and other groundbreaking constructions may eventually welcome visitors in the year 2030. Alternately, perhaps none of them will ever be done. What do you believe? Please tell us in the comments section below. For more information about Saudi Arabia's Vision 2030, stay tuned for our upcoming video. We appreciate you watching and hope to see you at the next one. Please like and subscribe to the channel.